After 3 days of exciting racing at the 2010 Dragon East Coast Championship on the River Medway, we spoke to several of the competitors to get their views of the regatta. First up was winner Jürgen Schörner.
So Jürgen, congratulations on a great regatta win. How did you come to be sailing with this team? This was unexpected for us.
Tim and I have been talking quite a while about sailing together. And then Tim said, okay, now we have the chance to do it. So if you come over here to England and sail this East Coast Championship, it would be good. So I said, okay, this could be a good opportunity, and then it happened.
Fantastic. So are you planning to do some more sailing together, do you think?
When we have the chance, we'll do it. Of course, the thing that he's living here and Katie is living here and I'm living in Denmark, it makes things more difficult, and I have my crew at home. But, when there's an occasion, I'm sure we'll do it.
Brilliant. So was this your first time sailing at Medway?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Oh, it's a great place. I mean, it's really a nice environment. It's beautiful here. The people are very kindly. So I really enjoyed it, and we have a lot of good wind here, I can see, so that I like too, of course.
We certainly haven't been short of wind this weekend, that's for sure. So on the race course, how did things go for you on the race course?
In the first day we had to learn about each other and the boat and so on, but later on I think the team worked very well, and I think our performance was satisfactory, so I think we are quite happy, or we are happy. And
looking at the rest of the fleet here with the other UK sailors, who were particularly standing out for you amongst the competition?
Of course, Patrick 717 was very strong, and he had 3 bullets, which was quite impressive. So for sure he was the main competitor here before the final race.
Yeah. And for you, what's next on your agenda?
We will go to Marstrand next month in June there's a regatta there, and then we take the German Grand Prix, and then we of course take the Gold Cup at Marstrand again, so that will be the next 3 regattas for us.
Great. And are you planning to go out to Australia for the Worlds in January?
Yeah, certainly.
Fantastic. We shall look forward to hearing more from you later in the season.
Okay, thank you.
Next we spoke to BDA Chairman Patrick Gifford, who'd finished second in the regatta.
Patrick, congratulations on a second place. That was a very close regatta this weekend for you. How do you feel the event has gone from a BDA perspective?
I think it's been very, very good. Everybody's enjoyed themselves. We've had 7 extremely good races, and the entries were up, and I think with the enjoyment that people have had this weekend, I think with every chance they'll be up again next time. So from our point of view, it's an unqualified success, and we are very, very grateful to Medway Yacht Club and all the individuals who've participated in making it all work extraordinarily well.
Wonderful. So over the course of the weekend you've had quite a variety of conditions, mostly quite strong winds. Talk us through a little bit about how the weather went through the weekend.
Well, Saturday wasn't a very nice day. It was wet, it got progressively windier, although we were told that it didn't actually ever blow more than about 25 knots. It felt like a bit more than that. In fact, I still suspect it was, but the conditions were such that you always think it's blowing harder. We got 3 pretty fair races in the reach, which I believe is called Kethole Reach, and that all worked very well. And then on Sunday, it became a much nicer day, but very gusty, and unfortunately we were sailing in Longreach, and the race officer had what was effectively an insuperable problem, that the wind was slightly angled. He was starting close to low water, and he had to lay the windward mark in the lee of the King's North power station, which produced conditions rather like my early dinghy sailing on the Welsh Harp in terms of how you get to the windward mark. And we are told that the gusts went up to about 40 knots, but I must admit I'm slightly surprised, whereas I thought the wind was higher than recorded on Saturday. I'm actually surprised we truly got 40 knots on Sunday, but there were some powerful gusts, and it was very shifty near the windward mark.
Yeah.
And it was slightly long and short because of the problem of angling it across the reach. But we got 3 pretty fair races in. They were tiring because it was always blowing hard, But I think people thought it was good fun, and the weather was nicer.
And so then going into today's final race, it was extremely tight at the top of the leaderboard. You and Jürgen, it was all to play for, and Mandy and Mark were still just about in the frame. How did it go in today's final race for you?
Well, going into it, Jürgen had 12 points after discard, and we had 15, which meant we had to put a few, even if we won, we had to put someone else, or at least 2 other boats had to do rather well as well, which didn't look entirely easy. As far as we were concerned, we got an absolute flyer off the pin end, crossed everybody, and thought we were nicely set. And then it sort of, the boats above us on our left-hand hip began to get quite a big lift, and the ones to leeward of us seemed to slip away a little bit, and we just never quite sussed out during the race what the interplay was between needing to get out of the tide and needing to play the shifts.
Yeah.
Our final conclusion, by the time we'd done 5 beats, was that you had to take a view at the leeward mark as to which shifts, which side had the better shift, and then go to it and stick to it.
Yeah.
Not the easiest thing in the world to do, and we weren't entirely successful at it.
Well, but congratulations on a great second place.
Thank you very much.
And obviously our leader was Jürgen, yourself in
absolutely.
second, Mark and Mandy third, and I think Mike Holmes was fourth.
I think that's right. Yes.
What other good performances did you see around the fleet over the weekend?
Well, the boat was going really very fast a lot of the time, and faster than I've seen it go for a while was Flame Again with David Hall,
Yep.
who seemed to have a lot of speed and kept popping up. Whereas Len Jones probably had a rather disappointing regatta.
I gather he lost a man over the side in yesterday's
He did.
second
I didn't
race.
see it happen, but I gather they went for a jibe, and the crew lost his footing on the foredeck and fell overboard, and of course then was picked up by a rib, which meant he couldn't continue. Which was a shame. Other than that, I suppose the most striking thing, which is not entirely ideal, was that on the windy day on Sunday, a number of boats had rig problems, and by the end of the day there were a number of dragons looking very peaceful without their masts on moorings. And there was one quite heavy duty collision. But other than that, no. I mean, I think people enjoyed themselves, and the results pretty much speak for themselves.
Fantastic.
Having spoken to Patrick, who I'm sure won't mind me referring to him as one of the elder statesmen of the British Dragon Fleet, we decided we should also catch up with our youngest competitor.
Here with Matt Young, who has been the youngest competitor at the East Coast Championship. So Matt, I understand you're just 15 years old, is that right?
I am indeed.
So when did you start sailing?
I started sailing when I was 10, but I started in cadets down in the Royal Corinthian, same with Joe Taverner, did 2 years and that went up to 420 with him as well, and he kind of just pushed me into the Dragons because they asked for a crew, and somehow I've got quite good at it, really.
Fantastic. So who have you been sailing with this weekend?
This weekend I've been sailing with Mike Holmes and Alex Burdett.
Great. Is that a regular pairing for you, or is that a new team?
That's regular, I'm his permanent third.
Fantastic. So how's the weekend gone for you?
It's gone pretty well, came fourth overall, got a first on the first race, so.
Excellent. And it was very tight going into today's final race, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Some of the racing must have been quite exciting. What's it been like out there?
Exhilarating, really.
Some quite exciting mark roundings.
Yeah, and yeah.
So what's next on the agenda for your team?
Well, more away events, I think. Just get used to each other, because I've only been sailing with Mike now for a year, so we've just got to get used to each other, how we all like interact and everything.
Great. Are you going to be coming down to Cowes for the Edinburgh Cup?
I'm not sure yet, I hope so.
That would be great if you are.
Yeah.
So do you get to do some other dinghy sailing as well as your dragon sailing?
I do toppers on the Saturday just before Dragons. So, yeah, I get a little bit of topper sailing in.
Well, it's great to see a new young face in the Dragons, so keep up the good work and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next event.
I hope so too.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who helped in the making of this report, to Medway Yacht Club and the Medway Dragon Fleet, to our BDA and event sponsors, and to all the competitors for making it such a very special regatta. Full results, photographs and further details are available from www.britishdragons.org.